And it's up to you, athletic trainers, to make sure that your athlete is in a position that you want them to be in when they're getting taped, okay? And Elijah first went here. That causes a little bit of knee flexion. Now the angle's gonna be wrong as I tape her, okay? And she's gonna tend to plantar flex. When she does that, then when she steps down, she's gonna have wrinkles and it's gonna be too tight in the front. So I would say, yeah, make sure that it's out, or even the bottom of your foot flat on the table. I know that's not comfortable. You can be the other direction, but if you're dealing with high school collegiate athletes, they should be a little bit more flexible. So just get them in the right position. Otherwise, they're gonna come back and say, this is too tight, I don't like this, or they're never gonna come back to you again, right? And then you don't get to practice. So come out just a little bit further. There we go. I'm always looking for the contour. So here's her gastroc. Just about an inch below her gastroc is as high as I want to tape, okay? People that tape way down here, you're not giving your athlete enough leverage, or your tape job enough leverage to protect them from an inversion or an eversion sprain, right? So you want to be about ½ inch to an inch below the contour where the gastroc stops, okay? I'm going to be right there, so if you're filming, you probably want to, I don't want you to film my butt. So move to the side, please. I like to put my heel and lace pads on in a diamond shape. I think it covers more of the area that's sensitive, but you don't have to do that. That's just personal preference. You only need a layer, maybe 2 layers of pre-wrap. You don't need a sweater full of pre-wrap. Try and stop before you get to the point where you're going to start, so that you're anchoring to the skin. And there is no rhyme or reason to the pre-wrap, just take it where it wants to go. Same with tape. Take it where it wants to go and you will avoid wrinkles. If you're trying to steer the tape someplace, you're going to end up with wrinkles, okay? So I'm going to start with my A angles with 2 anchors up top, and I'm going to make sure that my athlete stays in what's neutral. I think Beam calls it 90 degrees of dorsiflexion. It's actually anatomical 0. That's when we stand. 90 is 0 for the anatomical position. I like to put my anchor down first before the stirrups, and I like to leave space. I don't overlap that anchor, because when your athlete puts weight, their feet are going to spread out. And if I have enclosed that with cotton tape that doesn't stretch, that's going to be really painful, okay? So I leave a little bit of a gap, a little bit of an opening. Then I go into my stirrups. One behind, one down the center, and one, and they're overlapping by half, but then one in the front of the malleoli. And I know Beam puts anchors in between each of the stirrups. That's a personal preference, it's not a requirement. Make sure you stay in neutral. And now I'm going to overlap the tape by half, and I'm going to make my way down. And as I come down, notice that now I'm going into a little bit of a V angle, so that I bring the tape back to where I start. I don't want there to be openings. Let's see, and then I'm going to switch it so that I don't get wrinkles. Overlap by half. Okay, there's my fill-ins. So other than the stirrups, I've done nothing to support the ligaments. This is just fill-in to protect the athlete from getting tape cuts or blisters, okay? If you are noticing, can I use that foot for a second? Oh, killing me, Smalls. I'm not doing everything, I'm just showing you some examples. if you're noticing differences in the density, the color, the deepness of the tape, then you're not overlapping by half. Okay, if you're overlapping by half, then all of your tape should look like this, rather than a lighter shade. Okay? And that's where the tape is going to start bunching up and cause blisters and tape cuts and wrinkles. So really focus on that overlap by half. Okay? The next thing I'm going to do is a figure eight, and when I tape, I do a continuous figure eight into a heel lock. Okay? That's not a requirement. You may graduate to that. Some of you are already there. That's fine. Okay? But if not, then do your figure eight, tear the tape. Do one half of the heel lock, tear the tape. Do the other half of the heel lock, tear the tape. And I'll walk you through each of those. Okay? But the reason for the rubber band is we're going to go, oops, sorry, no snapping, all the way, and then I'm going to cross it and go over toes again. And I want to make sure that I'm above the malleoli and that I am close to, in line with, the navicular. Okay? The navicular is my starting point. That's my anatomical landmark. Okay? And I'm going to start with the tape at the navicular pointing straight to me. Horizontal to the ground. If I start here, I'm going to blow it. If I start here, I'm going to blow it. So nice and even. Horizontal to the ground at the navicular, and I'm just going to follow the rubber band. Boom, there's my figure eight. Okay? And if you've done that correctly, that's going to lead you to a 45-degree angle right into your first heel lock. Okay? And now, Beam on the video, he goes straight into the heel lock on the other side. I like to line myself up a little bit easier, so I go around the back of the lower leg once, and then that lines me up into 45-degree angle into that lateral arch and back. That is a figure eight and one heel lock, one complete heel lock, which means I've locked both sides. Okay? I can go around again, 45-degree angle, sweet. I've lined myself up, heel lock, around, look at that, 45-degree angle, around, and then I finish there, 2 heel locks and a figure eight. And I'm going to use Elijah's foot every time I need an example, because her arch is perfect. So I haven't done an example tape job like this in 4 years where I haven't wrinkled, so you're hired. And then I don't want loose tape ends showing, so I just put another anchor here, and I'm going to put another anchor up top. I'm going to say, all right, head out, ready to go. Okay? Questions?